There is something off about my family life. I don't understand what it is. School isn't an option for me, like other kids in the neighborhood. Some of them constantly pick on me. I remember riding my bike down the sidewalk when this boy ran across the street and pushes me into a picket fence. Why? I don't know. In another instance, a group of them held me down in the middle of the street as a car came towards us. Someone yelled,
"What are you doing to that child?"
and they ran away. And I just laid there watching the headlights, waiting for the car to hit me before someone scooped me up as the wheels screeched to a halt. My name is Shirley. It is 1970. I am 5 years old and live somewhere in Los Angeles, California. Besides the fact that there are a lot of house parties, which I know because it is my responsibility to make sure everyone's beer is cold. So when someone finishes their beer, I get them another. A few times when no one is looking, I swallow what is left in the dark brown glass bottle. One of those times, I hear someone say,
Look, Shirley is drunk. Isn't that funny?
Mrs. Richie Green is an elderly woman with a grown son named Richard, who also has a son that stays with us. She is a little overweight and sits in her recliner all the time. I am her television channel changer. There is CBS, NBC, ABC, and PBS. Most of the time I watch television. My favorite show is Speed Racer, although she makes me watch Sesame Street every day because she wants me to make that my favorite show instead. Ah, that's one bat. Aha, two bats. One day, the doorbell rings, and someone delivers a package for me. Opening it up, it is a beautiful porcelain china doll inside. She has long black hair and a white dress. I don't know where it comes from or who sent it. It just was wrapped in brown paper with white string and no return address on it. Who would send me something like this? Mrs. Green's son, Richard, apparently doesn't like that I got it because he picks it up and drops it, shattering the head. I try to pick up the pieces, but he keeps stepping on my fingers while laughing. I do not understand. Sometimes someone instructs me to play outside, even if it's night. A few times I just run off and hide in a closet. I usually hang around the backyard. One sunny day, they give me some watermelon to take with me. But as I eat it, a piece falls on the grass. I didn't want to pick it up, so I just covered it with a paper napkin. I guess I just thought it would disappear. The next morning, after going outside to pick up the napkin, there is a snail in place of the watermelon. Why does the watermelon turn into a snail? I will no longer eat watermelon because now I am afraid it will turn into a snail inside my stomach. Other times, I sit on the front porch. I will never forget the time they gave me what I was told was chocolate. But it was actually X-Lax, which is a laxative. Do you know what it feels like to need to go to the bathroom And you are locked out of the house? I will never forget the time I tried to move a brick. Dropped it on my big toe. Boy, did that hurt. My nail ended up turning black and falling off after about a week. When I decide to leave the front porch, I first go next door to the Kings. They live on the left side of us. They are old, but really nice. I always get candy whenever they are home. Otherwise, I will go to Mr. and Mrs. Sacia, who live on the other side of us. I like her. She is always cooking soft-shelled tacos on the stove. She will toss a tortilla on the open flame and slide it back and forth to warm it up, every now and then patting out a flame that pops up. She is always telling me, "You are going to turn into a taco," as she puts another plate in front of me. I do not like Mr. Sacia because he always asks if I want to see him shed his skin. When Mrs. Sacia notices me watching her plug in her iron, she tells me to never put anything into the electrical outlet while pointing to it. If it does not have a cord like this, dangling the one in her hand, or it will kill you. Despite not knowing why, I have a very deep sense that I just want to die. So one day, I got a large hairpin, opened it up, and stuck it in the outlet. Suddenly, with a jolt, I was flying backwards. I didn't die, but my hand has black spots all over it. For a very long time, I walked around with one glove on, and nobody really questions me why. One time, when some woman that was visiting asked about it, the response I heard someone say was,
That is just what she does.
another time, when they left me in the car by myself, I backed the car out the driveway and parked it perfectly parallel, or at least that's what I was told. It was funny, at least to me and the guy that was driving the car, after he realized I didn't cause any damage. Although they did cancel wherever we were supposed to be going. I have a giant stuffed lion and a giant stuffed snake. The scariest memory so far was when someone picked me up and forced me to look into what they called a casket. I don't know whose funeral it was, but I never want to see another one.